Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Chris, and I'm one of the Shortcuts educators here. So today, like we ran sort of 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was now, we ran an all day of stock. Now, stock always proves to be really popular, but I understand there are several variables that go into it. So the reason we've decided to do this is just to basically dissect it and break it down, just to make it really nice and easy for everyone to get their head around and just really take it in. So today we're going to be running through all of our stock, okay? So the first section, which is what we're going to be going through now, is of course adding companies, lines, suppliers, brands, everything like that. So that's going to be our starting point. Okay, now with all of our webinars, they're all recorded, so we are recording that now, and it will be posted onto YouTube within the next 24 to 48 hours. So of course, if you do wish to watch it back, please feel free to. And of course, please make sure your speakers are turned up nice and loud. Okay, so just a little bit of initial housekeeping just before we do get straight into it. The duration of this webinar is going to be approximately 30 to 35 minutes, okay? Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but we're going to try and keep it to the 35 minute mark. Of course, my microphone is switched on, but if you are listening in with a headset with a microphone, that kind of stuff, just to let you know you have been muted. So please don't try and talk back to me. Just, feel free to drop me a message, a Q&A, anything like that. Do make it interactive. And of course, like I said, your speakers must be turned up to hear this webinar. Lovely. Okay, so a couple of minutes a couple of minutes starting there. So I do apologize for that, but I think we've got everyone and I think we're ready to get started. So in this session, we will be covering accessing your products, adding new brands, lines, suppliers, and updating your minimum and maximum levels. Now we're going to touch on that in a lot more detail later on, okay? But that's what we're going to be covering for today. So a couple of keywords, okay? Now these keywords we're sort of going to see throughout, and they will be really handy sort of on your stock journey. So a couple of keywords, we've got supplier, okay? Now a supplier is a person or organization that provides something needed, such as a product or service, okay? Now my example is going to be Salons Direct, okay? So we're going to see this a little bit later on in about 10 minutes, but my supplier is going to be Salons Direct. Then we have a company, okay, which is a business organization which makes goods. In my case, this is going to be Kerastars, Paul Mitchell, that kind of thing. So you're going to see those examples in around 5 to 10 minutes time. And then we have our line, okay? Now our line is a group of related products all categorized under a single brand name that is sold by the same company, i.e. Nutritive, i.e. Awapui, i.e. Elnet, anything like that. So that is our line of products, okay? So we've got our 3 keywords. We've got supplier, we've got company, and we've got line. Okay, so we are going to have a live demonstration, but we're just going to basically go through a few slides just to give you a bit of a head start of how it works. So to access our stock, all we need to do is simply click the stock button, followed by the products button. Okay, so it's right there on the right-hand side of our navigation bar for us. Okay, and then what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new supplier. Okay, now a supplier, remember, is where we purchase our products from. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in the bottom right hand corner, we can toggle just where this sort of oval circle is. We can toggle between companies and lines and suppliers. And then to add a new supplier, all we do is we literally click the new button and we type our supplier in. So we've toggled to supplier, we've clicked the new button, and we've typed our new supplier in. So the system now knows where we purchase our products from, i.e. Salons Direct. And you can fill out all of your information here. Okay, so this is where you can pop all your rep details in, for your supplier. And of course, also enables you to email your orders through to your rep. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to add our new company in. So we're going to toggle back to new company in line, and we're going to add our new company in. And in this case, we're going to call it Kerastars. Okay, so we can see we've just added that there. And then once we've got our our company, i.e. Kerastars, we can add our line of products. So we literally click onto the company, click the new button, and we add our line of products, exactly the same as before. And then once we've got our line of products, we can add our specific products in. So we've got Bain Satin 1. This is my literal product we've got just here. We add the buy price in, we add the sell price in, we add the current, that's our current stock level, that's how many the computer thinks we have in stock right now. And we have our maximum and minimum levels. Now we're going to get into that into much more detail. Now that is basically just a very brief overview, okay, just to give you a bit of a head start, but we're going to get right into it now. We're going to get right into our live demonstration and we are going to go into lots of detail. So all we're going to do is literally open up our Shortcuts Fusion system. And over on the right hand side, what we're going to do is we're going to click the stock button just here on the far right hand side of our navigation bar. And we're going to go to the top section where it says products. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our supplier in. Now our supplier is where we purchase our products from, okay? So to do this, in the bottom right hand corner, what we're going to do is we're going to click where it says sort by company and line. And we're just going to change it to supplier just here, okay? So we've left clicked where it says sort by company and line, and we're just going to click supplier. Now you'll see I've already got a supplier in, that's one I did earlier, but we need to add a new supplier. So to add a brand new supplier, all we're going to do is click the new button right down the bottom of the screen. And we are going to call it Salons Direct. Now, of course, if you purchase L'Oreal directly from L'Oreal or Redken directly from Redken, your supplier will, of course, be that. So your supplier will be Redken, that kind of stuff. Okay, so we've added our supplier in just here. And it's as quick and as simple as that to add your supplier in. Okay, but what we can do, we can add a few more details. We can add all of our personal information for this supplier. So what we can do, we can click onto the supplier, and then just down here, you'll see where it says details. We can fill out our account number. We can email stock orders in PDF or CSV file. We can fill out our rep details. And most importantly, we can fill out the 2 email addresses. So you'll need one for the ordering and one for the supplier. So we're just going to pop the email addresses in there. Okay, so we've added our supplier. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit the drop down arrow again, and we're going to toggle back to company and line. Okay, now this is where all of our companies sit, all of our lines will sit. Okay, now what you can also see down here in the bottom left hand corner, you can see where it says show me in active. Now what we typically do on Shortcuts, we don't delete products because they will have appeared on your previous reporting or anything like that. But if you don't stock that product or you just simply wish to get rid of the product, what we do is we make it inactive, okay? And to do that, we just take the tick out of the active box. Okay, so in the bottom left hand corner, we can show me inactive, which is all of your products that have been made inactive. Now underneath that, you can see there's a drop down arrow where it says all. Okay, and it says all professional or retail. Now all is professional and retail products combined. Professional products are professional products and retail products are retail products. Now professional products, what we tend to say is, can only be used professionally and cannot be sold to the general public. Now these are identified ever so slightly different on Shortcuts. They typically do not have a sell price because we don't sell them, and they're typically written in italics, sorry, and we're going to see that in just a couple of minutes. Now retail products, what we tend to say, can of course be sold to the general public, but they can also be used professionally, and these will typically have a buy and a sell price. So if we just expand my previous company, we can see my previous company just here, Paul Mitchell. And we can reveal the line of products by clicking the left hand side where there is a yellow cross. And that will reveal a line of products. Now, if you remember, a line of products is a way to categorize products all under the same brand. And we can expand the line of products by clicking the yellow cross again to reveal the specific products just here. So think of this as like a 3-step process. Okay, so there's all of our specific products here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a brand new company. So Paul Mitchell is a company. We're going to add a brand new company and we're going to call it Kerastars. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the business button right at the top of the screen, just here. We're going to left click on business and we're going to click the new button. And you can see we can add our new company in. So I'm going to call it Kerastars. Okay, so that's our company name. Then underneath, we're going to add our default supplier. Now, this is exactly why we did our supplier first and foremost. So you'll see here, I've got my supplier, Salons Direct. So the system now knows we purchase Kerastars from Salons Direct. And again, you can fill out your Kerastars rep details just here as well if you wish to. To finalize this, all we do is we click the done button. So we have our company, we've got Kerastars, but now what we need to do, we need to add our line of products, okay, to better categorize all of our specific products. So to add our line of products, what we're going to do is click the word Kerastars. Now, the best way to think of this is think of it like opening a door and taking something out or popping something in. So we're going to open up Kerastars door. So we're going to click onto it and we're going to click the new button. And you'll now see it says new line. So we can add our line of products. Now our line of products is going to be called Nutritive. Okay, if you're familiar with Nutritive and Kerastars, you should be familiar with that. If not, I believe companies like Davines have Menu, Nunu, everything like that. Obviously, Paul Mitchell has Our Pui, L'Oreal has Solar Sublime, Elnet, everything like that. Just to give you a couple of ideas there. So we've added our company and we've added our line of products. So now what we need to do is add our specific products that fall under this line. So exactly the same as before, we're going to click our line of products and then we're going to click the new button. And you'll now see our third step is to add in our specific products. Okay, I would always recommend being as specific as possible here. So we've got Bain Satin 1, 250 ml. Then what we've got here, we've got our buy price. Now our buy price is typically exclusive of VAT. Now it will still be added in all of your reports, but typically our reps, they give us this buy price exclusive of VAT. Our sell price will be inclusive of VAT. So my £20 is including VAT, okay? We're not going to worry about average cost, but what we are going to look at is our current stock levels, okay? So our current stock levels is how many products the computer thinks we have in stock. So what we could do, we could simply type that number in there. However, stay tuned for my second webinar where we are going to run through how to do a successful stock take to ensure that these current levels are totally accurate. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add our maximum and our minimum levels in. So let's just expand this just at the top here. So we've got our maximum and we've got our minimum level. So what are our maximum and what are our minimums? So our maximum level is the number of products we aim to have on our shelf after we've received an order, or basically how many products we wish to have in stock. That's our maximum level of stock. So I'm just going to say 6. I want to keep 6 on my shelves. Now our minimum level is the number that our current stock level will fall below so that an automated order can be generated in the background to bring it back up to our maximum level. Okay, so if we pop a minimum level of 2 in, that means once our current stock level, the number our system thinks we have in stock, once our current stock level falls below 2, so i.e. 1, an order will be generated in the background to bring it back up to 6. Okay, now the order will of course be 5 because 6 minus 1 is 5. That is the deficit between 6 and 1. Then we have our warning level. Okay, now our warning level will pop up at the point of sale screen, just letting us know we're running a little bit low on that product. And to the far right hand side, we have a primary barcode. Now, of course, if you're using a USB barcode scanner, you can of course scan that barcode in there. If not, you could just simply manually pop it in. And of course, again, to the right-hand side, we can take the tick out of the active box to make it active or inactive. So as we can see, this is a retail product, but what about if it was a professional product? Now, what I would recommend all of our viewers do is along the top of our screens, just here where we can see the columns such as minimum level, warning level, and so forth. What I would highly recommend everyone does is we just simply right click with the right hand side of our mouse. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down to properties, and we're just going to choose retail just from the top, just here, or from the bottom, sorry, right, just where it says retail. Okay. And you'll now see if we scroll to the far right hand side, we have another column where it says retail. Now, this is a really, really good way to toggle between retail and professional products. Okay. So if this product here that we just added in wasn't retail and it was professional, you could simply toggle that here and change it from retail to professional. So a really quick way to switch over a retail product if it was accidentally put in as retail when it should, of course, be professional. Now you'll notice as I change it to professional, you will notice it goes into italics. Now, as I said at the beginning, that's typically how we identify our professional products. They're written in italics, and 9 times out of 10, of course, they won't have a sell price because we don't sell it to the general public. Now, of course, I just showed you this one just as a quick example there, but I'm just going to change that back to retail, just like that. And that is a fantastic way to flick your products if they should be retail or professional. And then, of course, as we remember in the bottom right-hand corner, we can change, sorry, in the bottom left-hand corner, we can change the view mode. So we can look at our retail products, we can look at our professional products. So if we just look at our professional products here, we can see we've just got our Paul Mitchell professional products here. Okay, and again, typically stylized in italics with no sell price. And we can just toggle that back to all. As simple as that. So just a quick recap, we added in our suppliers. Now to add in our suppliers, in the bottom right-hand corner, we hit our drop-down arrow and we clicked onto supplier, okay? And we added in our new supplier called Salons Direct. We then toggled back to company and line, and we added in our new company called Kerastars. We can expand the company to reveal the line of products, i.e. nutritive, and we can expand the line of products to reveal the specific product, i.e. Bain Satin. Oh, I didn't add Bain Satin shampoo one. I did that the wrong way around. We then added our buy prices in. We then added our sell prices in. We then added in our current price, our current stock levels. And we then added in our maximum and our minimum levels. Now, what I would very much recommend everyone does moving forward from here on out is go through, add your maximum and your minimum levels in. So typically a good idea would be to keep your maximum around 6 and your minimum around 2. But of course we can change this. We can change this at any point we decide to. And then of course you can add in your current stock levels if you need to. However, in my next webinar, I'm going to show you how to do a stock take, which will of course ensure all of your current stock levels are totally accurate. Perfect. So that's it for the first half of our webinar today. So I think our next webinar is at 10:30, which we will go through stock takes. So from here on out, ensure you've got your suppliers in, ensure you've got your companies, lines, and products in, the buy prices, sell prices, everything like that. And then of course, last but not least, make sure you've got your maximum and minimum levels in. And then what we can go ahead and do on our next webinar, I will show you how to change your current stock levels by doing a successful stock take, which takes all of the hard work out of adding in your current stock levels. Lovely. So thank you ever so much for joining me this morning. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop those across now. Perfect. Okay, so no questions so far. Not a problem. If you do think of anything on our next webinar, of course, feel free to drop that across. Hopefully it just means we've covered everything in as much detail as we needed to do and everyone's raring to go. Like I said, do go ahead and get all that information in. I think we've got around half an hour until our next webinar starts, and we can just carry on where we left off. Hopefully everyone's able to join me on my next webinar. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If not, take care and I'll speak to you all again soon. Thank you ever so much. Bye.